Oh, it didn't give us a 3, 2, 1.
It just started.
Hey guys, Marianne Denal is here.
Hi, I'm Anthony.
We are expert relationship mentors, and I just posted a question in the marriage support group, this group right here, on what is the top thing you need to see improve in your marriage. And you know what the number one answer was? Communication. So this is intended to be an open Q&A. We're going to share with you 3 key principles that we know and work in our marriage. And if you have any questions or whatever, hey Marissa, anything that's coming up for you, just type it in. And we're here to be open and raw and vulnerable, and we're just going to give everything we've got. I'm going to say that all questions are on the table. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, anything you want to know that has to do with communication between you and your spouse. And we say we're experts because we've lived this. The three principles we're going to give you today are things that we've learned and we've developed and we've practiced in our own marriage because we've tried the other way and it really sucked.
Doesn't work so good at all. Okay. Hey, so here's the first key in communication in marriage. What is it?
The first key, well, I have all 3 in my head now.
The first one we're going to give him.
The first one.
We wrote them down. Hang on, this is what we do, okay?
Right.
There we go.
The first one we're going to give you is what I like to call the not about the nail
Oh my
principle.
gosh, I love this one. If you haven't found it yet, go look up the movie on YouTube. It's not about the nail. If you're up for a good laugh, and you might get a little bit triggered, that's okay.
When Marianne showed me this for the first time, I stood dumbfounded for a moment, and then I could not stop laughing because it was our relationship. And the principle is compassion versus problem solving when listening to your spouse. Sometimes, especially as men who have the need to solve the problems, be the hero, slay the dragon.
I want to pause on that for a second because that's actually a quality of men that is natural and actually very good. When men want to be the hero, I mean, that's actually very attractive for women is when you want to be the hero and solve the problem and make things happen and save the day. That's what makes men want to solve problems, is they want to save the day. They want to be the hero for their wife.
And sometimes, in conversation, that's not what our wives need.
Sometimes it's not what we need, even though it's what we want. It's not what we need yet, right, ladies? Do you hear me? Sometimes what we need is to just be heard. We just need a sounding board. Sometimes our ideas are all mixed up in our minds, and we don't even know exactly how to put into words what we're feeling, and we just need someone to just be there for us, listen to us, help us just get things into words and reflect back to us what we're saying. And that's part of what we call a reflective conversation, is when I can say, hey, I'm feeling this way. Anthony says,
I hear you, that this is how you're feeling.
And he uses my words.
Because there is a difference between repeating back to her what she said, word for word, and repeating back to her what I heard her say. Have you ever experienced that? That what your spouse says to you is not what you hear your spouse say to you?
Right, yeah. We have different filters for different things. Oh, we just had a little baby accident. We're totally just doing this live and raw and in the flesh. So, oh, baby Kim. Thank you. Thank you, Daddy. Okay, so he's going to help the baby. I'm going to go on with what we wrote down for you, okay? So as soon as she's in a happy place, we'll just join each other. That's a message to me to clean up my floor a little bit. Okay, compassion versus problem solving. So the way we figure out exactly what we need is we go to our husbands and we say, hey, I need you to listen to me and I need to be heard right now. I don't want any problems solved. I don't want any problems fixed right now. I just need you to hear me. Are you in a space where you can do that? And the key to being able to say that is, get on a really elementary level. Say, I'm going to practice these words. I don't expect him to know what I need, even though we've been married for 14 years next year. I don't expect him to know what I need every single time, because let's face it, I'm unpredictable. I'm going to figure things out as I go, and I might not need the same thing every time. Go figure. So I'm going to share with him exactly what I need in that moment, and I'm going to invite him to do the same thing and say, hey, what do you need right now? Do you just need me to listen? Do you need me to help you problem solve? Do you want to, what is it? What is it that you need me to do for you? So that's the first principle of communication that we want to share with you, is problem solving versus compassion. Okay? In our marriage, compassion is a beautiful thing, and it's totally different from victimhood. When I say victimhood, I mean it's more than wanting to share with you my story. It's nowhere near wanting to find solutions. And compassion is feeling the same way or understanding how I feel. If it's not feeling the same way, it's understanding how I feel. Now, victimhood is saying, look how bad I have it. Wasn't this awful? Side with me, buy my story, help me stay as poor off as I am right now, and don't even try and help me to see things a different way because I'm insistent that this is the way it has to be. Crazy that we do that, right? It's absolutely nuts. So that is the first principle, is compassion versus problem solving. Now the second principle we want to talk about is clarity in communication.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So my daddy's a pilot. Clarity in communication is life or death for him, in almost every situation that we go into. It gets pretty intense sometimes. But I'll just give you an example. When we were...
Can I tell the story?
I want you to tell the story because you're good at telling it.
This was hilarious. It was our first Christmas together in our brand new condo, just the two of us. And we were excited to go out and buy a Christmas tree. We had a little sedan, so we were going to buy just a tiny little tree. And put it in the trunk. We had talked this over, going to put it in the trunk and bring it home, and it'll be fantastic. As we're driving out of the parking lot of our condo, Marianne turns to me and says, "The trunk is full."
From grocery shopping, From
grocery shopping.
I think the night before we had gone grocery shopping, or earlier that afternoon or something, we'd gone grocery shopping, and the trunk was full of stuff.
And so I said, "Yep," and I kept
on driving, and I was like, the trunk is full. And he's
so she touched me on the arm again and looked at me and said, "The trunk is full."
Read my mind.
And I kept driving. And I agreed with her, and I could not figure out why she kept telling me the trunk was full. I know the trunk is full.
And ladies, what am I thinking?
You told me that.
What am I thinking right now when I'm telling him the trunk is full? I'm thinking this whole paragraph of information the trunk is full, so we need to stop the car, turn around and go home and empty the trunk, and then drive to the store to get the tree so we can put it in the trunk. And in order to do that, the trunk needs to be empty for the tree, right? Whole paragraph of information I tried to squish into one sentence and totally robbed it of clarity.
And how often does this happen in marriage where we say something that we know what we mean, but we're not actually saying the words that we are meaning to say? When we make a request without actually asking for anything. We do this with our kids a lot. Our kids will come and say, "I'm hungry." That is wonderful information.
Yep.
Is there a request you would like to make? Or, And
don't get this confused, because it's a lot of people can step into being rude with this.
Yeah.
If Anthony were to come up and say to me, "I'm hungry," then I would automatically go into, he's telling me this for a reason. How can I serve you? Can I make you a smoothie? What are you hungry for? How can I help you with this?
And sometimes when she's super busy and I say, "Hey, I'm hungry," she's like, "Okay." And just continues working because her brain is functioning on something else.
And it could mean, do you want me to stop and we go out to eat together? Does it mean that you want me to make something? Or are you just telling me something for my information? So we will actually ask each other all the time. He'll come into me and say, we'll just use this example, "I'm hungry." And I'll be like, "Do you want me to serve you in some way? Or can I serve you in some way? Or are you just telling me?" And he'll either say, "Oh, I'm just telling you." And I'll be like, "Okay, cool." Or he'll say, "Yeah, do you want to take a break and we'll have a smoothie or something?"
Okay, Marissa just asked a really great question that goes along with this idea of clarity.
Oh, what is wrong? We don't ask each other that anymore.
She said, "What about when your spouse asks you what is wrong and you don't know? And there's so many things you don't know what to say."
Oh, see, look at the interesting dichotomy here. The "I don't know" means nothing, and yet there are so many things that are coming together.
I finally stopped asking Marianne what's wrong.
Oh,
and especially, why are you upset?
Oh!
Because a lot of times there's nothing wrong. It's just there's so much going on in here. She doesn't know what to say to me.
Just like you.
Just like Marissa just said. And what I've learned with Marianne is what is going on in your head right now? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? And
so my favorites are, he says, when the question is asked, what is wrong? I want to know why you want to know. Is it because you want to help, or is it because it's usually that you want to help in some way? So my favorite, when Anthony comes up to me, he says, how can I serve you best right now in this moment? That question has really good answers. The question, what is wrong?
There's so much that nothing's, it's exactly that.
It creates bad answers. It makes me,
no matter what you say, if you say nothing because nothing's really wrong, then you're not getting out what you actually want to say.
You're not solution finding. And if he asks me what's wrong, then my brain is automatically going and looking for what? Everything that's wrong in my world, which isn't helpful for me. Now the question, how can I serve you best right now? That tells me to look for solutions. That says, oh my gosh, he's saying, like, he's seeing me. He knows that I do have needs, and he wants to provide for them. And maybe it's just, could you make me a sandwich? Or maybe, can you just look me in the eyes for a couple minutes and just give me some words of life? Or maybe I need to drop everything and we need to freaking go out on a date, man. Like, this is such a beautiful question of how can I serve you right now best in this moment?
So Marissa, in answer to your question, it'd be a great conversation to have with your husband to say, instead of asking me what's wrong, ask me how can I serve you? Or what can I take off of what is something on your list that I can do for you? Because I don't know about you, but Marianne has a checklist in her head at all times, and if I can take 2 or 3 things off of her list,
did you find your turtle?
It's like I have slayed that dragon.
Oh, so hero. Okay, so bottom line, here's the third thing. This is the foundation, and we give it to you last on purpose, the foundation for all communication in your marriage, no matter what words are said, no matter how they're said, or what energy is behind them. The bottom line is this. This has saved our marriage like over and over. Is this concept of unconditional. Whoa, what do I mean by unconditional?
Unconditional means not having any expectation for how the other person is going to show up when you say what you need to say.
There's no agenda. There's no expectation. Agenda says what's in it for me. Intention is how can I serve you. So unconditional means that I can come up to Anthony and I can say, how can I serve you best? And he can say, I don't like it when you ask me that question. And I can choose one of 2 things. I can say, oh, I can be really offended because I was just trying to help. Or I could say, whoa, he's giving me some feedback. That's awesome. So what would be a better way for me to show up for you?
And then, like an example today, Marianne was on a webinar, and our daughter had come in to help.
Oh yeah,
mommy on the computer.
Helpful.
And Marianne called me, Anthony, I'm on a webinar, and again, clear communication. She was expressing a paragraph.
It's a trunk moment. Total trunk moment.
A paragraph in her mind. And I've gone to the point where I know she's giving me information for a reason. So I was in the middle of doing something myself. I was working. So I shouted back, does that mean you want me to come get our daughter and keep her out of the office?
And for me, I could have done one of 2 things. My default in the past has been when I hear him say, does that mean I need to come get our daughter and get her out of the office? That, for me, used to mean, you're a bad mom. You must not want to spend time with your daughter. I need to come rescue because apparently you don't have time to be a mom right now, and blah, blah, blah. All this crap that used to mean, when really he's just asking, what do you need?
Actually need? Ask me the question that you want to ask me. And the awesome thing is, these are principles that we practice every single day. We're not perfect at them. We have become very, very good at them.
But they work.
And they work.
We're not perfect people, but the principles are perfect.
Yeah.
And they're growing.
The bottom line of unconditional stands and really helps the rest of our communication, because whatever we say, it goes back to our absolute bottom line of, I love you and I support you and am unconditionally committed to the success of our marriage. So no matter what she says to me, I take it in the attitude of, she is committed to the success of our marriage. No matter what she says, no matter when she says it, it is said from a space of she loves me and is committed to the success of our marriage. And the same for me when I speak to her.
And more so than what, because that could sound like an expectation. What we're trying to say is, I am unconditionally committed to the success of our marriage, and
I'm
Anthony is unconditionally committed to the success of our marriage. So that means no matter what happens, no matter if I show up my highest or as my lowest, if Anthony shows up as his highest or lowest, then we get to be the people that stop everything and say, hang on, we are both committed to the highest and best success of our marriage. Even if I'm not showing up as my best, even if Anthony's not showing up as his best, we can stop everything and say, okay, we have this bottom line. How do we serve that?
Yeah. And when I say she shows up, whatever she says...
Whenever you hit my arm, it jiggles the screen.
See? Clear communication.
I'd like for the screen not to jiggle. Would you please not hit my arm?
Yes, exactly. When I say that whatever she says to me is said in love and from a spirit of being committed to our marriage, it doesn't mean I expect her to be feeling that way. For me, it serves me better and how I relate to her if I simply assume that's where she's coming from. No matter what attitude she's in, that is her baseline, because we agreed on it in a time where we sat down. We were loving,
clarity,
we were calm, we were clear,
space.
And we both agreed that is the bottom line of our marriage. And so, it calms me down when she is upset. If she is having a rough day, if she is triggered by something, if in my heart and mind, I believe she has the utmost commitment to the success of our marriage, then I can say, you must be having a really, really hard time right now. And you're doing the absolute best you can to live that commitment. And so I'm going to show up the best I possibly can.
But don't be confused here. You could take that the wrong way and say, I'm showing up based on you. No, he's not showing up because he's expecting something from me. A lot of people will say, will take this bottom line and say, well, we committed to it and you didn't show up, therefore that gives me permission not to show up. No. Anthony's commitment to our marriage actually has nothing to do with me.
No,
it has nothing to do with me at all.
Yeah. I keep my commitment no matter what she's doing. She keeps her commitment no matter what I'm doing.
But there's no expectation of the other to show up in any certain way.
And the amazing thing is, it creates this amazing connection between the two of us. It creates an amazing solidarity in our marriage between the two of us as we're both working towards the same goals. We support each other unconditionally in each other's needs and desires while maintaining our own powerful, solitary existence while working for the same goals.
I wouldn't use the word solitary.
Not solitary. That was the first word that came to mind. So
Pick
we powerfully maintain our own identities.
Yes.
So we unconditionally support each other's needs and desires while powerfully maintaining our own individual identities while working for the same goals. It's this amazing dichotomy.
Yeah.
That we get to work on.
Will you do me a favor?
Yes.
Will you go to the bedroom and get the book?
Yes.
Okay. I know. I was paying attention. Brylan? Brylan? Is that how you say your name? Hey. So a lot of the stuff that we teach, we've just learned because we've tried it on in our marriage, and a lot of the stuff we learned from mentors. Bottom line, it all points back to truth. And yeah, Brylan, there is a book that I highly, highly recommend. One of several. But to start off, this is the book, other than Holy Scriptures, that I recommend, because sometimes I need more simpler versions. Let's just put it that way. Okay, this is the book. Limitless.
The Limitless book.
It's a #1 bestseller. Our special edition copy is coming out this fall, but this one has our story in it. So if you want to grab a copy of this book, if you want a hard copy, just let us know in the comments below. They're $20 for a hard copy, or you can buy the ebook on Amazon for $2.
Yeah. And the great thing is, this is not a marriage book.
I know, it's so cool. We got like marriage advice from a book about personal breakthrough.
Yeah. really, my problems have nothing to do with Marianne. Her problems have nothing to do with me.
No.
And learning how to develop yourself, love yourself, break through your own limitations, create a deeper, more meaningful connection with your spouse.
I have an idea. Can we give him some bonus material?
Yeah.
Do you guys want bonus material?
Do you want bonus? I think they want bonus.
I don't know. I'm going to wait and see. I've got Brylan. I've got Marissa. Do you guys want bonus material? So we just assume that, yeah?
I think so.
Okay.
There's a 1 minute delay, so
yeah,
we can just keep talking.
We could just be talking about it until there's one, or you.
So yeah, we have a lot of bonus material. A lot of things.
We've got me a piece of paper.
Yes.
I'm gonna show you guys this. This is so cool. Okay, I don't know how many of you are mathematicians at heart or remember high school, or maybe it was 3rd grade. I don't know.
Do you want
somewhere piece of math. Okay. So, Anthony, will you hold on to this camera for me? In our relationship, we take personal issues out on each other. Bring on the bonus. Oh! Yes, it is so on. Okay, here we go. Here is...
Am I showing the paper?
I will show it up as soon as I draw it. Okay? Actually, you know what? You can flip the camera around and, we can, make this really professional-ish looking. Right there. Okay, cool.
Hold on. Oh, yeah, my finger.
Yeah. I
have
oh, we're all cuddly now. Okay.
Now we get to be all cuddly.
Okay, this is the really cool bonus part I wanted to tell you. Hold that camera as still for me as you can, okay? All right. Oh. Okay, so this is me. Okay? I have my own set of beliefs. I have my own baggage. I have, all of my own strengths and my own weaknesses and all this stuff. This is just everything that makes up me. Okay, this is my spouse. And he has all of his stuff that make up him, all of the wonderful things and all the things that, get to be worked on and all of that. Now, there's my stuff, I get to take care of me. There's his stuff, he gets to take care of him. But there's this beautiful place in here as well, okay? Marriage is not 50-50. If we cut it down 50-50 like this, then half of me would be missing and half of my spouse would be missing. That's not the way it works. Marriage is not 50-50. You must have 100% of each of you, me and you, to create this marriage. This marriage is this spot right here, and it exists because each of us brings 100% to the table. This is the marriage. And in our marriage, we even gave our marriage a name. It's called Nityamutam. It means the eternal kiss. The marriage exists from both of us. So if I am bringing joy into my being here, guess what gets fed into my marriage? Yummy joy, okay? And guess what Anthony gets to partake of? Joy, right? Hey, babykins.
Whether or not I am currently putting joy into the marriage,
he gets to have some of it.
I get to have some of that joy because Marianne is putting it in and she's part of the marriage.
Now, guess what happens if one of us puts in resentment right into there? If one of us puts in resentment, guess what we're both eating? We're both partaking of that resentment. So that means if I'm resenting my spouse for anything, then I can't exist without drinking the poison of that resentment as well. That means that I'm resenting part of me. I know that might be a crazy concept, but go with me on this, okay? If there's anger at myself or my spouse, guess what I'm feeding myself? Anger. Guess what my partner's eating? Anger. Another way to look at this is by thinking of a pool, okay? And here's me on this side of the pool, and here's my spouse on the other side of the pool. This is called the law of connection, guys. I cannot experience something with someone without drinking it myself. So whatever I put into the relationship pool between us, we both drink from.
Imagine you have a big long straw and you're just continuously drinking from this pool.
So if I'm putting resentment into my marriage and I'm drinking from that pool, here's my straw here with the kinky
little bendy.
Yeah, the little bendy part, okay? So if I put resentment and there's any resentment in my marriage, guess what both of us are drinking? I'm going to make you a straw too.
I like to drink too.
If I'm putting resentment in there, bleh, that pool gets nasty, dirty, filthy, gross water. Here's the magic cure-all for it. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is the ultimate pool cleanser. And when you give forgiveness to your marriage, you both drink from it in a beautiful way. Beautiful way.
And we may do another video, but if you have questions about what that forgiveness looks like, because I know all of the excuses not to forgive, all the reasons to withhold forgiveness, the buts, whys, what ifs.
Oh, the validations.
That come with the idea of forgiveness. And Marian and I went through all of them.
And if you, switch this back around. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Limitless TV channel, we actually just recorded a forgiveness segment. How do I forgive my spouse after an affair was one that we just recorded for Limitless TV. And just PM us for a link for that on YouTube, and you can watch that. It's not published yet, but it will be soon. It'll be published over the course of the next few days. That's all I wanted to share with you today. I think we kind of gave him a fire hose a little bit. There's a lot there.
A little bit, but watch the video a couple times and try out these principles that we talked about.
Give us some feedback below. And guys, feel free to PM us, contact us. You can email me at, I'll put it in the comments too. You can email me at, hang on, you hold this. Okay, I'm gonna, hold this in my mouth.
Oh,
yeah,
this.
Thank you. Okay, I'm putting my email in the comments. Marianne, where's the @ sign when it's sideways? Oh, there it is. Okay, Marianne at limitlessmentor.com. Okay.
Excellent.
Okay, so there's my email address. If you guys just have any questions, want to chat, if you're looking for the next level up in your marriage, shoot me an email. If any of this has resonated with you and you want to see some major upgrades in your marriage, let us know. We'd love to see you at one of our Limitless events. The next one's coming up actually this week, and then one after that's the end of September. Yeah. We would love to have you guys. I know that many of you are out of state, and that it would be a huge commitment to drive or fly or get to Utah for a Limitless event, but your marriage is worth it. I'm going to promise you that. Your marriage is worth taking some time off, traveling some distance, and spending some time on just you and you. Absolutely. And the amazing thing is you can do these principles without your spouse choosing in. Oh, yeah, I know. If your spouse doesn't want to be part of this, if they think it's woo, if they think it won't work, it doesn't matter. If you start using these principles yourself, your relationship will begin to improve simply because you are improving. You are putting improvement into the marriage, into the pool, upside down pool. And so do it for you. Do it for your own improvement. Okay. All right, I'm just reading Brylan. I hope I'm saying that right, Brylan. Let this break down. Can't wait to talk about this later with Dylan. He's your sweetie. I am the one that sees more of the issues, but we both lack self-worth, or on the opposite end and expect too much and it turns. I don't know if there's more after that, but that's what we can see here. Okay, yeah, there's a lot wrapped up in that. Grab the Limitless book, guys. Grab the Limitless book. Get Belief Breakthrough in your hands. This is the thing that saved our marriage and just makes it rockin'. I love you. Love you. Okay, we're gonna finish up this video. Take care. You know, if there's any way we can serve you, please comment below, and we'll see you soon.